So Santa Claus, if you did exist, this would be on your shoulders. Aww, I wish he existed. Hello everyone and happy holidays. I celebrate Christmas. I've got an ugly Christmas jumper on. Obviously it's cute ugly because, you know, cute ugly is great. But so today I'll be talking about games that I feel are very like wintery or Christmassy. I've got 3 in mind. And then I'm going to be talking about a wish list and what games I would put on it if Santa Claus existed. So I'll be basically, you'll get to hear me complain about how certain games are too expensive to afford and all of that. But anyway, let me start. So the very first one that came to mind in terms of wintery or Christmassy games is Code Realize Wintertide Miracles. Now this is not a main game, it's actually a fan disc, but as you can tell from the name of the game, it is all kind of wintry and based in like a cold season. So I don't know, I just feel like it will really give that feel of winter, and it will really make you feel more immersed into the game as a result of everything happening, it being in winter and you being in winter. And apparently you can go on like dates with 2 guys or something, and I'm like, that sounds adorable. Can you imagine, you know, 2 allies bickering amongst each other or you know, interacting with each other while the main character Cardia is like, oh, you know, the thought of it is, I don't know, it sounds appealing. I really wanted to play this game this winter, but I haven't even completed Future Blessings, which is the first FD of the game, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to wait until next year because I'm determined to play it during winter. But yeah, for those who don't know what Code Realize is a game about the main character Cardia, who is actually poisonous, and it's her journey alongside the allies to discover why she is the way she is. And yeah, it's a relatively story driven, I would say, and is quite interesting. Now, the second game I had in mind is, this isn't really Christmassy, more wintry, but it's Kimi wa Yukima ni Koinegau, or Kimi Yuki if you want to be lazy like me. And basically Kimi Yuki is about this girl who grew up in the wintry mountains, which is why it gets this like wintry feel about it, especially at the beginning. But it's about this girl who can see people's emotions through this little string that's tied around their neck, and it's made people feel a bit creeped out about her because like they look at her and she can tell that you're feeling sad or happy, and I guess it creeps them out a little bit because they don't want her to see how they're feeling. And also another thing to note is that she can also see these black strings in places where there's like negative emotions and stuff, and those strings can come together and turn into monsters. So yeah, it's kind of, and I think, although, you know, not necessarily all of the routes in the game is, you know, based in sort of a snowy environment. Right at the beginning you do see her kind of sort of talk about how she's feeling and stuff in a snowy environment, and it just kind of has a cool tone to it, so I felt like it's a very wintry game, and definitely more Eastern aesthetic, and it's kind of in the Edo period and it's very Japanesey. But the one route I have played so far has felt very like classic Otome game, very fairy tale-y, and I quite enjoyed it because all the classic things happen, you know, like for example when someone falls over and then the ally accidentally kisses her or something, like, you know, the classic Otome moments appeared in there. So I think it's a good game. I recommend it, at least the one route that I played. So third on my list, this is the last one, is Bustafellows. Now Bustafellows isn't necessarily a Christmassy game per se, it's just more that I felt that it had a wintry vibe to it because you have each character route having side A and side B, and during side A it feels kind of like autumn maybe, but once you finish this side A, which is a story bit, and move on to side B, that's when all the romantic stuff happens, and it's about an hour, maybe 2 worth of gameplay. And in this particular bit it's clearly based in winter because some scenes seem a little bit like sort of Christmassy or cold, and it's just, I don't know, I felt very cozy playing it because side B is basically the two, you know, couple being incredibly happy together and being all cozy and like adorable, and you watch it and you're like, this is so cute, and it gives you this like tremendous cozy feeling. So I don't know why, I guess it's because of that cozy feeling. When I thought of like games to play in winter top 3, I was kind of like, Bustafellows, yeah, Bustafellows. And for those who don't know what this game is, it's about this girl, main character Teuta, who is able to go back in time a couple of hours in, you know, before where she decides to go back in time. However, with a catch, which is that she ends up in another person's body. And basically it's about her helping all these allies in various different ways depending on the route, by using these time travel abilities. However, there are a couple of consequences, and yeah, it's interesting though. It's interesting. But yeah, so those are the 3 games on my winter recommendation list. Now moving on to games that I would put on my wish list because I physically can't afford it, okay, I've got several. So the very first one that came to mind has got to be Kuroba no Kuni no Arisu. This is actually a game from Quinn Rose, which is a company that kind of basically went bust, so all their games are incredibly expensive. And it's the second one in the Alice series. So initially there was Hato no Kuni no Arisu, which is about a girl that went down the rabbit hole, and I don't know what happens, to be honest, because I haven't played it yet, but it's very Alice in Wonderland setting. And then Kuroba no Kuni no Arisu, you've got like the normal edition, which isn't too expensive, but the more newer edition where they've taken a bit of gameplay out so that you can just smoothly enjoy the story, has skyrocketed in price. See, if it's a Vita game, I'd be a little bit more like, okay, it's a Vita game, I can see why I spend this money. But because it's a PSP game, I'm just kind of like, can I really justify spending over £100 on this game? So yeah, I definitely add it to my wish list because I'm kind of like, yeah, I can't justify buying it myself. So Santa Claus, if you did exist, this would be on your shoulders. Oh, I wish he existed. But anyway, so another one that came to mind is School Wars. Again, a title by Quinn Rose. This one comes in the PSP, but also on the PS Vita. So I've actually got the main game and the fan disc in PSP form. And I guess that's why I'm a little bit reluctant to get School Wars on Vita, because I already have the games. It's just I want it on Vita for the smooth experience, you know? Not having to like tilt my PSP in a certain way so it doesn't make a funny noise, that sort of thing. I can just like play it, and but I just can't justify paying money again for a game that I already have, and that's why it kind of stays purgatory on my wish list for probably the rest of my life, to be honest, because I'm just a bit like But it's a really good game. It's about this girl that goes to this school that is a very specialist school that trains people up for almost like a secret agent kind of thing. Like they get military training basically during high school, which is a really weird thought. So yeah, but I really enjoyed the game. I think I liked the main character. She was such a good girl. I liked that it was relatively steamy in the scenes, but like not to a disgusting level. It was like, it's a nice, meaningful, good level. And so yeah, that's on my list. And I think, you know what? Just on my wish list is basically games from Quinn Rose and Takuyo. And Quinn Rose, because I guess it's gone bust, so all the games have skyrocketed in price. And as for Takuyo, for some reason their games have also increased quite a bit in price. A Sweet Clown finally came out in Switch, which made it a little bit better, but back when there was only a PS Vita edition, it was like oddly expensive. And there are a couple of games like that where the price is really high and I'm kind of a little bit confused. I guess they're more of a collector's edition type of thing. And it's games like that I would just end up on my wish list, because I'm sort of like, I can't really, if I can buy 2 games that I'm interested in anyway for the same price, why am I spending that amount on one game, if you know what I mean? So it always ends up being in purgatory on my wish list. So yeah, and Takuyo have games like Sweet Clown, which is about a girl that gets invited to a tea party and then the allies will have something wrong with them. Yeah, it's right up my street. But, no, so that's one. There's a couple more I can't remember the name of, but there's one where there's a girl on the island that has a store or something, but the villagers like bully her relentlessly. Yeah, Takuyo seems to either be a really messed up, crazy title or the other way around where it's just like really funny. Like Kaeru Batake de Tsukamaete is a comedy game. I don't really know much about it. It's something about a girl turning into a frog, or the allies turning into a frog or something. I really don't know. But it sounds crazy. But yeah, they always seem to either go really messed up or really oddly strange and funny. But yeah, ones that I would suggest for other people in terms of like to cry with me about the price is Black Wolf Saga. That's another one. It's super messed up, and I guess it's a little bit of a collectible. So you can get it in PSP form and it's cheaper, but I guess people like getting the Vita version because it's just a bit more smooth and also, you know, collectible. I actually bit the bullet and bought a copy myself for January, but you know, that was with tears in my eyes thinking, why am I spending so much money on this game when I could buy two? But my point is maybe that can go on your wish list and you can cry about it and then finally buy it, maybe like I did. But yes, I think that's my wish list, basically Quim Rose and Takuyo games. Do let me know what your wishlist games are. Mine tend to be, you know, either ridiculously expensive that no one can afford it, or no one that I can know or me, or there's something that I personally don't want to buy myself. Like, because as an adult, so when I was a child, I was like, oh, why would I want socks as a gift? But like now as an adult, my age, I'm kind of like, I would really like socks because I don't like going out buying socks or tights. It feels, you know, like money that I wish I didn't have to spend. But when a friend buys you a pair of socks, they become meaningful socks, or meaningful tights, I suppose, in my case, and you like cherish them almost. And it also means you don't need to go and get it yourself. It's a great gift. I think it's great. I'd be more than happy if, you know, my friend just gave you some frilly socks or something. But yeah, it's like that. So I would add things like Dairoku Ayakashimori or Oz Mafia, where they're in my mind. I want to play them, but I also want to spend my money on other games that I'm really hyped about. So, you know, there's that sort of thing as well. But anyway, hopefully that was a fun little video. As always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and hopefully I'll see you in another one of my videos. And again, happy holidays! Bye! Have a nice day!